What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining DroppedMic tonight. So, before I get to anything, thank you so much for your continued support throughout this first season of DroppedMic. Every Friday night, you guys were on there debating, talking, having a great time, sharing and supporting what we do, and we truly appreciate it. In behalf of the entire team, thank you so much. My name is GV Pluvios, and probably this is your first time, maybe your second time seeing me on here. I'm usually on the other side of this, but this is DroppedMic Unplugged, which is we kind of give you guys a behind the scene look of what it looks like to bring such a show live every Friday night. So that's pretty cool. And it start with production. I am the producer of DroppedMic, and so today I'll be able to walk you guys through my creative process on how I get prepared for the show and taking this show live for you guys to enjoy every week. Now, one thing that I love to say as a producer, I'm the guy that gets blamed for everything, literally. And I mean, it's kind of like an insider joke for us, but technically, as a producer, I oversee everything that happens from camera, from the set, from sound and graphic, and thus the overall experience of what you guys are able to watch every Friday. I oversee all of that process. Now, obviously, with a big chain of production is a lot of steps, and with each step, there are a set of problems that comes with that. So what I mean by that is that bringing a live show on with the quality of DroppedMic, it takes a lot, and it's also a lot that can go wrong. And so in order to troubleshoot when something happens, you literally have to go through every single step. And so the biggest thing with a show like that also is that you have to be very organized in every step, otherwise troubleshooting is gonna be a nightmare. So let's say I have just cable running all over the place, and I don't know where my camera chargers or the camera batteries, right? Or I misplaced my computer charger, or my just small stuff like that can truly enter a full chain of production, because in the heat of the moment, I don't have the time to think of where did I put this charger, or if I'm not getting any sound, I need to be able to access all my sound equipment and troubleshoot them as quick as possible. So if I have cable running all over the place, imagine what that will look like. So my job starts really before we even go live, or before we even announce the show DroppedMic. Started a couple weeks before that. Obviously, DroppedMic started like right in the middle of confinement and all of that stuff. So everything was challenging. Simple, stuff that we needed to order off of Amazon. Like we needed to wait for us to get everything that we need. And the challenging part of that is that if I'm testing something out, so I have to order it. Let's say I order something today and I don't get it within like a week or two, then to test it and see if I need any more equipment. So it was very challenging with everything that was happening with the coronavirus to really get going with DroppedMic, because everything was super slow as far as shipment, and just us getting together and being safe, making sure we were also keeping each other safe. That was also a challenging part for us, but we got to it, and I'm glad you guys got to enjoy it. So I'll walk you guys through what I did in order to get to before we even get to a live show. So the first thing, producing a live show, you have to start with the concept of the show, what we want to do, how long we want to run the show for, the title, the main topics, and all of that. I come into play with anything creative. So what do we want the show to look like? logos, color theme for the show, and all of that good stuff. The second part is actually very, 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 very important. Um, the second part is coming up with a music theme. And I am very, very happy to have gotten so many positive feedback about the Drop My theme song, which I produced and composed as well. So thank you all for that. But the reason why that's important, and I know it's a really a cool song that gets you guys rocking and it's very interesting. But the reason why that is important, especially on live shows, is that um, based on the song that you're using on platforms like Facebook and YouTube, um, you can get strike down for using a specific song. What I mean by that is that anything that you use on a live show, it has to be licensed. And so there are two ways that works. You can either buy a license for a song that you purchase online. But the problem with that is that you have to pretty much get it cleared through YouTube literally every week. For instance, like some of the track that we use on a pre-live, little countdown, I have to get those cleared every week. So imagine a theme song. I just didn't want to go through that, and I just thought that it made sense that hey, we have a show. It makes sense we have a whole theme song going, and it will just make for a great ambience, if you will. So that's the first thing was producing the theme song, and I'll walk you guys through the process of that later on today. The second thing after having the song is obviously now looking into the graphics for the show. And as you know, if you've watched Drop Mic before, you have the pre-live graphic. So we have a countdown of about 15 minutes max that's on there. So we have to time that well with like that 8 o'clock start time, 8 o'clock central time. So we have to time the countdown with that so that at 8 o'clock sharp, that's when we get into our intro part of the show. And that is the next thing that I had to do is the a graphic for the intro. After that, once we get the intro done, then it's graphic for the entire show. So we mean lower third. If you don't know, these are the things that you see at the bottom of your screen that indicate, the person speaking, the title of the topic being discussed, comments, a live picker of announcement, or call to action, graphics, and all of that stuff. All of that stuff fall into the category of lower thirds. So that was the other part that we have to figure out. Now, when it came to graphic for Drop Mic, again, because we were right in the middle of confinement, and Drop Mic was a totally new concept. It was obviously challenging for me because it's so moving pieces in such a big chain of production that I tried to focus on the things that were a little bit more vital. And so graphic wise, we did okay there, and I'll talk to you guys more about what's the plan moving forward. And so from there, once we had a graphic situated, now the other part of probably one of the most important part of producing a live stream show is your internet speed. Yeah, so if you guys have been paying attention throughout the confinement to watch and pay attention to different concert or online programs, you've probably seen certain production being totally undermined by laggy videos. So that mostly happened because of lack of internet speed, and so for that we didn't take any chance. We went obviously hardwire fiber internet. So we ensure that we had the maximum speed of internet possible. Now the other part of having a fast internet obviously is having a device that is able to also stream that content out. And so that's the other part of laggy videos or bad quality video or unsuccessful live streaming. And so we actually did go to a share of those. In fact, if you guys remember that one episode I was on, um, we had a computer completely, the computer CPU went up so high that the computer could not process any more information and froze. Yeah, so throughout DroppedMic, we had to literally purchase new computers, and again, because of the coronavirus pandemic going on, we had to wait, I think, almost 3 weeks to get that computer in. And so, yeah, growing pains, like I say, we saw a lot of things that add a lot of stress to your production. And really, sometimes some of that you can't really troubleshoot before you start, because you can have a computer that looks good on paper, everything checks out, until you submit the computer or just really your set of equipment, until you submit them to like that, your workload. That's when you're able to troubleshoot. Do I have enough? Do I have the capacity to handle that workload? And so for us, we didn't have time to troubleshoot a lot of that. So we had to find all of that stuff out through producing some of that content. And we've had days where we were ready to go, and computer wouldn't work, or a camera or something would go wrong, where it's like, okay, we have to figure it out. And that's why I mentioned the importance of being able to be extremely organized, where you can troubleshoot stuff. So I remember one time, can't remember what episode it was, we were ready to go and the countdown was actually on, so we are on time, everything's ready to go. And I checked with Ted, and Ted is like, yo, GV, I can hear myself. And I'm like, okay, your monitor is probably down. Let's put your volume up and we're ready to go. And I checked, and we had absolutely no sound coming in for Ted. Show is about to start in, like, I remember we were like about like 3 minutes before, 3 minutes before the show. And I looked at NZ and I'm like, we are in deep trouble right now. We can either restart this countdown, or we have 2 minutes to figure this out. And so thank God, obviously I had an extra mic. So I kind of like just looked at the entire audio setup for Ted and figured out like whether it was a cable or a device that wasn't working, and had to switch that out and be ready to go. I believe like we got sound back like within like a minute or under a minute before the show. So it took us about like 2 minutes or so to figure it out and fix the problem right away. I can't remember whether we had to switch out the cable or the entire microphone. I can't remember what it was, but we had to switch something out in 2 minutes time, just to be able to get sound back on and be ready to go. So all of that stuff is extra stress, of course. And so I've spoken about your music, making sure your music is the license or you produce your own, which I would also recommend that you get copyrighted and license yourself for your own protection. And graphics being right, having the proper internet speed, and having the proper devices to stream. Obviously, good cameras and that, which we take pride in, putting out the best quality videos out there. Shout outs to to everyone, the team, Andy, Ted, making sure the cameras and everything running well. Once we get to all of that, that's now the next set of challenges for producing a show like DroppedMic, because then we have everything set up. The studio is ready, Ted is ready to go. He can hear everything. We can hear him well. Microphone is good to go. Everything is set up. Now our computer is running well. We have the good internet. Now comes a new set of problem, because now every guest that we bring on is a whole set of problems, because at any minute, any person within that panel can have an issue. And again, that affects the entire chain of production. And so for every person that I have on for the day, that's a set that's something that I have to worry about, and making sure they look good, they sound good at all time. And so I'm always having to monitor everything that's happening within the studio, but also every single person that's part of the panel. And of course, because we also allow people to call in live. That's also another system that we have to figure out. So how do we get callers on? How do I receive the sound? How do I screen the call so we don't just let anybody on? How do I communicate that information to my host? And how do I make sure the quality of that call is actually, clear and audible for my host and the panelists? And how do I make sure they're receiving that sound back and making sure I'm not getting any feedback? Because with all of that, you can have a loophole of sounds. So again, another set of responsibility there to make sure that all of that stuff is is good to go in the moment. And obviously, the good thing though is that with the comments online and stuff like that, we had Mina, Lori, Sephora, Shiloh doing a great job, interacting with you guys, and also monitoring those comments and sending stuff to me. So that part was handled. I did not have to worry about that, so that was good there. But otherwise, really, the whole chain from music, graphics, camera, sound for my host and every single panelist on. That was, part of my responsibility, and I had to be in control of all of that at from the start to the end of the show. At all time, I have to be looking out for all of that. So that's pretty much breakdown of what my responsibility. Well, my responsibilities were when it comes to producing a show like DroppedMic. The most really satisfying thing for me is seeing how you guys interact online, because at the end of the day, I can be producing like 6K videos with the most advanced graphic online, and I can have like shoot holograms on there and like crazy stuff. If it's nobody watching it, it doesn't really do any good if it's being streamed. The purpose of streaming is having a group of people watching something in live, at the same time. And so, really, everything that I do really comes down to what you guys think of. What were the feedbacks, and so when you guys are enjoying it, that means I'm doing my job. Otherwise, nothing that I do have any importance if it can get to you guys, or if you guys aren't enjoying it. And so, really, a clean show was always exciting, but I would have my phone there, always checking online and seeing the interaction. That made it all worth it for me. So no matter what the issues were, again, that's part of my job. But really seeing how you guys, were, learning, sharing, and really just having a good time on there, that was always priceless. Now, probably my favorite episode was the one on racism. I mean, it happened like right in the middle of everything when we had, obviously the George Floyd situation, rest in peace, and Ted, having to address that. It was very emotional for all of us, really on the team, and so it was. I felt like very privileged at the time to be able to set up such a platform and have such an informative really debate around that time. So it was kind of like me feeling that, look, I'm doing my part in fighting racism and doing my part in contributing in this movement. So that was probably my favorite episode. Obviously, not without not it wasn't even a cleanest episode that was like issue free. We had some of those. Most of us were like that, but it was mostly like the importance of what that episode represent at the time and still now. So that's always gonna be something that I look back and be proud that I was a part of. So definitely that was my favorite episode there. Now, my dream for the Drop Mic show is definitely continue to grow and obviously just keeping the stream of, young professionals just walking in. Like, that's probably one of my favorite things to see is, seeing how many young professionals are on there, having those important discussions. And I can promise you guys, like, one of the coolest thing about the Drop Mic show is the part that you guys don't see actually is seeing the interaction before and after the show. We usually are like setting up and doing other things, and you see like the group of panelists on there just really engaging each other, learning about what each other does. It's always super cool to see, and how it drops from time to time, and it's always like really insightful conversation. So definitely I want to see that continue, and I also want to see the amount of people on there really engaging the debate grow. So obviously it comes down to you guys inviting your friends and sharing the videos and all of that good stuff. So it's that's one thing that I would love to see happen. Now when it comes to the creative stuff, definitely you guys have not seen my best when it comes to graphic. In fact, because we have so many moving particles, if you will, I kept it pretty safe. So I went with like the most basic graphic stuff that I had available to me in order to make sure I was actually handling the more unpredictable stuff. But definitely season 2, I'm gonna come in pretty heavy with my graphics because now I'm having the time to actually prepare for that, because honestly everything happened so fast and we needed to get the show out. Like, we did not have the time to really cover some of the graphic stuff, and it's cool that I know we've gotten a lot of feedbacks from people being impressed with the graphic that they've seen. But I can tell you that this is nowhere near what's coming for season 2, because this was really me grabbing on anything that probably I had pre-made, or honestly I went with like the most basic, the most safe graphic tools that I had available to work with for all those episodes. But season 2, get ready, because we're gonna make that thing look super cool and fun. So that's the one thing I'm the most excited about. The graphic, we definitely gonna bring that heavy next season. So I'll definitely keep supporting and keep sharing, sending your feedbacks and question and all of that. Definitely keep all of that coming. Anyway, so that is it for me. Drop Mic Unplugged. I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys learned from this. For those of you that aspire to put on a live show, reach out to us. We'll love to support you guys also. So thank you for every panelist, everyone that really support the show throughout this first episode. Again, not without challenges, but you guys enjoying the show made it all worth it for me. And so I'm looking to obviously grow with the entire team and make sure I bring an experience that is very seamless, very enjoyable for you guys. And obviously, I'm back at work now, working on some, like I said, those graphics that I'm promising. I've already started, really preparing for like a different experience one that you guys are gonna enjoy even more for season 2 of Drop Mic. So make sure you tune in next Friday for another episode of Drop Mic Unplugged, where you'll get to meet the rest of the team. So that was it for me, GV, your producer. Thank you for tuning in to Drop Mic Unplugged. I will catch you guys later. Ciao.